people have resigned from work, I mean, if I've resigned as a commission, you cannot force me back in. You understand? So we can say we are in the fallback. It's just not practical. It's not even legal, so to speak, because they were handled in a process that was legal, so to speak. Now, some of the grievances also that raised, whether it's the cost of living, it's a global phenomenon. I mean, headwinds are facing every country, and you need to take a big scope of things and look at, okay, is the current administration doing what it takes to do? Are they in the right track? I'll say, let me use an analogy, Olive, if you don't mind. Whichever car you drive, you cannot, whatever, when you make a U-turn.
A bit.
Yeah, you drive a bit. Okay, so you drive a bit. Okay. If you make a U-turn on this street and you have sheep, a tanker, the amount of time it takes to make a U-turn and a tanker is very different.
And coverage is not misconstrued to fund political motives. Politicians, to immediately stop aggressive political mobilization aimed at destabilizing national peace and security. National Security Council to intervene and direct the state of internal threats to national security without further delay. Well-wishers to join the Interreligious Council of Kenya in rebuilding the destroyed property and restore families here in Kibera to a better state of living. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. We are also here as a community of faith. The Hindu community is also here with us. So we are the Christians, the Muslims, and the Hindu communities. I know we do have a commissioner from NCIC, and if you allow, we can give him a minute. Then we'll also have Dr. Alton Irungu from Amnesty International. Please come forward, if you kindly. And then after them, we'll mention your name.
All right. Thank you all. I'm a commissioner at NCIC. First and foremost is to thank the Interreligious Council of Kenya, RCK, for your quick and timely action in nipping the bud and preempting more chaos in this lovely place of Kibera. We worked closely with RCK for a long time during the election, before the election and after the election, and that's why also we are here together. But our mandate, of course, is to, as you know, is cohesion, especially within our religious communities, and that's why we work closely with RCK to matters peace and cohesion in our country. Mine is very brief, and I'm going to just use this analogy, which most of you know, of an example which has been given of where black ants and red ants were put in a jar, and they are very okay. When somebody shook that jar, the black ants and the red ants started killing and fighting each other, and you know the analogy. It is quite clear, for a long time, the residents of Kibera, you know that they've lived in peace. We work here closely many times. We've been here on the ground many times. As a matter of fact, even before the election, we had numerous meetings here within the communities, within the faiths. There's been, for a long time, has been peace. But somebody decided to shake the jar yesterday, so that the black ants and the red ants start fighting and almost killing each other in this place. So, of course, as a commission, we condemn that strongly. And ours is to pledge to work closely with RCK, with the community elders in Kibera, the youth leaders in Kibera, to make sure peace is set first. I want to thank the security apparatus who are represented here, also for your presence here, to make sure at least there is peace and stability. we acknowledge the civil society here, led by our good friend Nguyen from Amnesty. Our message is very simple to our leaders, and I'll finish with this. We saw what happened in Kibera. Nobody Monday morning thought by nighttime mosques and churches will be ablaze. This is what happens when conflict, the seeds of conflict and disharmony are planted, because you cannot control conflict and war. So really I urge all our leaders, using our principles, to make sure we don't go this far anymore. That is just a harbinger of things to come. If we don't control this, we don't call our country back. I urge our leaders to make sure that we remember we have one country, we de-escalate, we have dialogue for the sake of our country, for the sake of community. Kibera has been united for a long time. All communities are here, all faiths are here. So let us continue steadfastly in the manner of peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have also Dr. Elton Erungu.
God is good. Alaikum salam. May Allah and God forgive the people of Kibera. To have two places of worship destroyed in less than a few hours between each other means that there is something very deep that needs to be exercised, that needs to be removed from our culture of politics. Mine will be to be very brief. My name is Irungo Houghton. I am the Executive Director of Amnesty International Kenya, and I'm here to say that what happened yesterday was completely unnecessary. It was unnecessary because we have a constitutional framework for non-violent protests, and that is Article 37. We also have guidelines that have been developed by the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights and other agencies on how people can protest without looting, without violence, and without loss of life. I hear that it's not just one person that may have died last night, but many. And we need to find out who those people are and really give them the dignity, but also the assurance that we will not see this happen, not just in the community of Kibera, but across this country. Last night, Luos lost their businesses, they lost their garages, Nubians lost their businesses, Kisis were attacked, Kikuyus lost their... How will we allow ourselves to be manipulated by politicians and by criminals? I need to ask this question particularly because the National Police Service are here. Where were the police last night in Kibera? Where were the police last night in the rangelands, the northern rangelands? Where were they in Spectre? And if they were there, let the police tell us. We saw a lot of police in Dagoretti North. And the question we have to ask the Inspector General is, all Kenyans, do they deserve protection or just some Kenyans? So we need to see a change in policing strategy in the course of the next 2 days, because Thursday is the next date that we have for Mandamano. So we have to see protection restored to the people of Kibera. Lastly, I just want to say that for the people of Kibera, the Christians and the Muslims, these, I think we have heard already, these are not buildings. They are places of worship, and they are sacred places of God and Allah. Can we ask, is it too much to ask the Muslims to cross that river and help Christians rebuild their church? Can we ask the Christians to cross that river and rebuild the mosque? And if you do that, the human rights organizations, I pledge, we will come personally to help you rebuild your places of worship and to restore dignity and the right to worship for this area. Allow me just very quickly to introduce Hussein Halid, the Executive Director of Haki Africa. He is a human rights defender like myself, and he came without any invitation like myself today.
Very, very briefly, Assalamu alaikum. Amani ya Bwana iwe juu yenu. Tumekuja hapa kuungana pamoja na mashirika ya kidini kusema kwamba tutashikamana na wao kuhakikisha amani imeweza kupatikana, sio Kibera peke yake, lakini katika nchi yetu hii. Tumesikia walivyotaka mashirika kuwa ni makundi ya kutetea haki na kutosimamia upande wowote ule. Na kama mashirika ya kutetea haki za binadamu, tutachukua mwito huo. Vile vile tunataka serikali na vitengo vingine vyote, hasa vitengo vya usalama, kama vile makundi ya kutetea haki za binadamu hajachukua upande wote, tunaomba polisi, tafadhali musikubali kutumiwa kupendelea upande mmoja au mwingine. Hawa wakazi wa Kibera hawajafanya makosa yoyote. Walikuwa na haki ya kulindwa na polisi. Walikuwa na haki msikiti na kanisa kulindwa na polisi. Kwa hivyo tunaomba polisi wetu, kama vile mashirika ya kidini yameomba civil society kuwa neutral, tunaomba vile vile vitengo vya usalama, you must be neutral. Wananchi wanapowahitaji, tafadhalini polisi, muwe haraka kuweza kufika, kuzuia ghasia kutokea, kuzuia loss of life, kuzuia loss of property. Kama alivyosema mwenzangu, this was absolutely unnecessary. So we will continue, kama tulivyoombwa na makundi ya kidini, to be steadfast in calling for accountability. Accountability of the government, accountability of the opposition, accountability of the police. Lazima kila mtu atekeleze kazi yake kwa mujibu wa katiba na sheria za Kenya, ili wananchi wasiumie kama walivyoumia wananchi wa Kibera. Kwa haya, asanteni sana.
Asante Bwana Irungu and our brother also Hussein. We are also joined by our police sub-commander, Mr. Muturi Bogo. If you allow, you can also share your
My name is Andrew Mbogo, County Police Commander in Mani. Mine is just a call to members of the public to continue maintaining law and order. We were here yesterday. Some of you who live here know that we were here performing our mandate of maintenance of law and order. We know there was disorder because of those who intended to loot and even cause arson to business shops and yeah. What I'm calling upon, mine is just a call that to members of the public to maintain law and order, as we also enforce the same. We ask the community, people living in Kibera, you have been living together for a long time, you know one another, and we'll continue ensuring that we perform our mandate of ensuring that there is protection, safety of lives and property. That's a mandate that we have been given by our laws, and we'll continue ensuring that the same continues. But mine is just a call that you as members of the public, you also have a role to ensure that we refrain from attacking one another, so as to we can exist peacefully as one community. Thank you.
Asante officer. Kwa matamshi hayo ambayo ama maneno ambayo yamesemwa hapa, tunawasihi jamii ya wanaoishi hapa Kibera waweze kuishi kwa amani. Mnakubali hayo? Watu wa Kibera mnakubali amani? Wananchi. Sasa tunawasikia. Tungependa kabla hatujapata maswali kutoka kwa media, sasa tuweze kuelekea upande wa msikiti pia tukaongee huko, kwa sababu sisi ni viongozi wa dini ya Wakristo, dini ya Waislamu, dini ya Wahindu. So now we are headed to the mosque. That is where we are going again to speak from and pray. We prayed here, we are also going to pray there. So kindly media, let's proceed.
Wananchi waongee kidogo.
Wananchi ataongea kutoka hapa.
When the people speak, let the world knows what the people of Kibera are talking about.
Yes, we are going to give wananchi nafasi tukienda kwa msikiti.
Mbona si hapa?
Sawa.
Ninyi mnaongea na Mungu kwa barabara, sisi ndio tunaumia.
We need to speak.
I want to talk. I want to talk kama Mkenya wako wa Kibera.